welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Richie and I'm so glad that you're here. Welcome to my birthday book haul. I am so excited to talk about all the books that I bought, and yes, I did cause a little bit of damage. Not a little bit, a lot of it, but it is my birthday and I feel like that is like the one excuse that you can go all out and get what you want and treat yourself essentially. So I've got a stack here, which I don't think you can see the full stack even in the camera, but this is a stack of books that I've accumulated as little treats for myself leading up to my birthday. And not only is it like a little treat for my birthday, but it's a little treat for my shelves because I did a bit of an unhaul at the start of the year when I first moved into this place. So I'm just excited to kind of like fill them up again and have so many books on my shelves because there's nothing better than seeing all the books on the shelves. That is what this video is going to be, and I'm so excited to get right into all the books that I've bought recently. Starting off with one of my most anticipated releases of the year, which is none other than My Friends by Fredrik Backman. I've been wanting to get this book as soon as I heard that he was releasing a new book this year, so this is like a obvious purchase for me. And it also came out in June in Australia, so I'm very happy about that, and I'm so excited to read his writing and just like be back in his like worlds that he creates. I feel like, I don't know, the way he writes is just like no other. This one is based on a famous painting. There's three tiny figures that sit at the end of a pier. Most people don't even notice them. Most people think it's just a depiction of the sea, but Louisa, an aspiring artist herself, knows otherwise. And then I think it just goes into like the three tiny figures that are sitting. I think they're three teenagers, and it's like they are like a band of brothers essentially, become friends because they have things going on at home. I'm not sure what comes out of it. I assume that she gets to maybe meet the people that were in the painting and get to know them, and it's just about like friendship and love and art. And I don't know, I'm really excited to read this. I feel like it will be really good, and I feel like Fredrik Backman just does no wrong essentially. So yeah, this was one of the books that I was very excited to buy this year. The next one I have is a fantasy. I think it's a fantasy. It's called For Whom the Bell Tolls, and I've seen a lot about this book, but I think the author of this book, she used to do like TikTok skits or something like that, talking about kind of like the concept of this book, which is this girl who has a job in the afterlife and she deals with like different souls that come through and things like that. I think that's what it's about, and I feel like that sounds really interesting. It follows Lily, who's in the afterlife, but it's completely different to what she could have imagined. Deities wait in line at the coffee shop, a fae flip between realms, souls find ways to make death a beginning. As she explores the many corners of the afterlife, Lily finds herself surprisingly drawn to a place most people would avoid at all costs: hell. Armed with years of customer service experience and pent-up sarcasm, Lily carves a job for herself amongst hell's demons, sending souls to their rightful circles with more than a hint of sass. Oh, that's really interesting. And then she also meets a demon general called Bell, and they form an immediate, deeply healing friendship, but they have some chemistry. It's giving like cozy fantasy, so I don't know much else about it, but I've heard some really good things, and I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it. I feel like I like the concept that the afterlife isn't what we expect it to be kind of thing. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how this one goes. Okay, I'm gonna go from the top here because I have two Ali Hazelwood books that I bought recently. The first one that I got is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I've heard some pretty good things about this one, and I know the sequel to this kind of like interconnected standalone is out, and so I really wanted to read that because I've heard some really good things about it, and I just thought I can't read that one unless I've read this one, so I bought both. So this one follows Rue and Eli. I think it's a workplace romance. Rue is a successful biotech engineer at Klein, one of the most promising startups in the field of food science, until a hostile takeover and its offensively attractive frontman threatens to bring it all crumbling down. Eli and his business partners want Klein, period. Eli has his own reasons for pushing this deal through, and he's a man who gets what he wants, with one burning exception: Rue, the woman he can't stop thinking about. I think it's kind of the same because she's a biotech engineer, so I assume she still works in like labs, but it's also kind of like a workplace romance, especially with someone who is like taking over the company that she works at. Anyway, it sounds quite interesting. I've heard really good things, so that is another purchase I've made. And then of course I had to get Problematic Summer Romance because I've heard just really great things ever since this book has come out, so I bought this one, and I think this one follows Maya and Connor. Oh my god, okay, so it's a brother's best friend. So I think in that book, it's Eli's older brother, Connor, and Maya, who is a struggling grad student, and set in Italy, and it's like a age gap romance. I don't know, heard good things as well, so keen to see how this goes. I feel like I don't really read much Ali Hazelwood, but I feel like she's like always putting out so many different books that I feel like I'm missing out on reading her books and stuff, so I've got another Ali Hazelwood to sort of add to my collection. I've got a few to read in between as well. The next book that I got was The Love of My Afterlife. Now this book, I just really love the concept of it, and I'm hoping that it's as good as like the concept sounds. So basically this follows Delphi, who recently passed away, and something happens and she meets someone in the afterlife, but it turns out there's a mix-up and she's sent back to Earth and she's not actually dead, but she wants to try and find this person that she met in the afterlife because he turned out to be like this perfect person, or like her soulmate, and she's just got like 10 days to find him. And I think that just sounds like such a fun rom-com, so I'm really excited to read it. And like, I don't know, I just feel like the concept of it sounds really good. Like, but yeah, hopefully it lives up to the hype I have in my head, because I don't know, sometimes that doesn't always work out. The next book I got is an Ashley Poston book, which is crazy because I think she has a new book coming out as well, but I haven't read this one, and I feel like I've heard some mixed things about this one. If you haven't read Ashley Poston before, she usually does contemporary romances, I guess they're contemporary romances, and she adds in a bit of magical realism to them, and it's always such a fun, good time. Dead Romantics is like one of my favorite books ever. I think that's a book that made me fall in love with Ashley Poston's writing, and I just thought it was wonderful. And then The 7 Year Slip is like amazing as well. So I think everyone had a lot of high expectations for this one, and now I haven't read it obviously, but from what I've heard that people have said that it's not her best work. I'm not too sure. It follows Eileen, who loves a good love story, the fictional kind anyway, and then her car breaks down en route to her annual book club retreat. She finds herself in Elora Town, which is the setting of her favorite romance series, and she is just really confused how she's there. And there's a grumpy bookshop owner, which sign me up. If bookshop's involved, I'm there. Grumpy bookshop owner, double there. So I think this is actually gonna be really good. I feel like that is such a fun concept, and I just love the way Ashley Poston like thinks of these like random things to make things like magical realism, and as everyone like wishes they could end up in like their favorite book town, especially like if it's like your romance series and you want to like go, like if I was able to go to Chestnut Springs, I would be there. I'm really excited for this one, and I'm hoping that it lives up to the hype that I have. Again, obviously I've heard mixed things, but I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it, so we'll see. The next book that I picked up was Passion Project by London Sperry. Now this, I just love the cover. Like, is that not the most beautiful cover ever? It's actually stunning. The theme of this book is like something that I don't know why, but it just scratches a big itch in my brain, because I love this trope kind of thing, like when there's grief and a romance mixed together. I don't know why, but that combination always hits. Like Beach Read, Promise Me Sunshine, You With a View, just things like that, like books like that always get me. So I am really excited for this one. I think in this one the FMC's partner has passed away, or someone in her life has passed away, and she's living a very miserable life and she's not ready to love again, and she doesn't have passion for anything. And she set up on a first date with someone, and she tells him all this, which is Henry. Henry then helps her uncover her passion for life, and they decide to try a new activity every Saturday as friends. But I think as they do the activities, they fall in love, and you know, she has like the spark come back to her and find her passion in life and all those good things. I for some reason love books like that, so I feel like this is right up my alley, and I'm really excited to read it. This reminds me a lot of Promise Me Sunshine, which I really enjoyed, and I like loved the concept of Lenny and Miles like working together to kind of get Lenny's spark back, and he was like her grief counselor, not really a grief counselor, but like her grief person. And I really enjoyed that one, so I feel like by extension I'm going to enjoy this one too. I can't get over how gorgeous this cover is. The next book that I got was a bit of a random one. Honestly, I didn't really see too many people talk about it, but for some reason it just really called out to me, and I was like, I feel like I'm gonna enjoy this, or like the concept of it, so I ended up buying it, which is Fan Service by Rosie Danan. This one and the concept of it just sounds really good, and I feel like it's like a perfect Halloween kind of read. The MMC in this one used to work at like a werewolf show. I think he was a leading man in a werewolf show. Think of like Teen Wolf, that kind of vibe. And then he wakes up one day naked in the woods outside his LA home with no memory of the night before. It must have been a coincidence that an ultra rare wolf blood moon crested last night. The claws, fangs, and howling are a little more difficult to explain away. And then the FMC is a online fan forum owner or something for this show that the MMC is in, which is called The Arcane Files. It's a werewolf detective show, so not really like Teen Wolf, but like that kind of vibe. And then the MMC and FMC kind of work together to figure out what the heck's going on with him and why he has suddenly become a werewolf. I honestly don't know how this book is going to go. Like, is it going to be like a proper werewolf romance, or is there going to be a reason behind it? I don't know, but I feel like this would be a perfect kind of like fun Halloween read, like, or maybe even like not even Halloween, I would just read it in general. Like, I just think that's like such a fun concept, and I used to love Teen Wolf when I was younger, and I feel like this is fully giving the vibes of like Dylan O'Brien, and you know, if you've watched the show you know what I'm talking about. So I don't know, I think this is gonna be a fun read. So this is another book I picked up. Then I picked up Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage, and this one is kind of like to complete the series. I've actually caught up to the series, so I'm really excited to read this one. I've heard people say amazing things about Dusty and Cam's story, and I just finished Lost and Lasted, so I'm really excited to read this. I feel like Lila Sage's writing gets better with every book in her series. This is like a small town country cowboy romance, and they have like some sort of childhood relationship or friendship, and she is about to get married, but her partner stands her up, and then her and Dusty spend like a day together, just like, or maybe it's a night, I'm not too sure, but they just like catch up and like spend this time together, and he's just always had it down for Cam. I feel like in every book they've kind of like hinted at this story, especially in Lost and Lassoed. It's been really heavily hinted. Even the epilogue was like about like where this book is probably going to pick up from. So I'm really excited to read this and also obviously complete the series. And yeah, I've heard just like wonderful things. I feel like a lot of people love Dusty, and I think he's just had it down bad for Cam since whatever happened in their childhood, and they parted ways, and she's the one that got away and he's just never gotten over her. So I love a man like that, so I'm really excited to read this. It's just something about these small town romances. I feel like you just have so much fun, and like I think I finished Lost and Lassoed in a day because it's just so easy to read and just like get into. So I'm excited to get into this one too. Also picked up First Time Caller by BK Morrison. Now this one I know it was meant to be kind of like a February Valentine's book, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and I did not read it obviously. Don't know why I haven't picked it up earlier, but I'm here now. I feel like I've heard incredible things about this story, and I think it's meant to be like a Sleepless in Seattle kind of retelling. I believe this follows Aiden and Lucy. Aiden is the host of a romance hotline called Heartstrings, even though he is a bit of like a pessimist when it comes to love. And then a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice for her mother, Lucy, the FMC. And then the interview goes viral, and I think the network decides that she needs to be part of the show, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Everyone's really invested in Lucy finding love, and so she's part of like the network show kind of, and she gets to know Aiden, and romance blossoms from there. I feel like I've heard a few like mixed things about Aiden, so I was like not fully sure if I would love it, hence why I waited. But I just like also heard really good things, and I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy it. So that's kind of what I wanted to pick up. And I also saw BK Morrison posted the cover for the next book in this like interconnected standalone series, and that looks so beautiful. Whoever is doing the covers for the series, like seriously, literally they look amazing. So beautiful, and like I love like the detail that you can see. So I'm excited to read this. Okay, the next book that I got is a bit of a random one, and honestly I think I got it because I saw a few TikToks of people talking about how like it's just really funny, and I don't know, I just was sold on this because I feel like after reading Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lock not hitting the spot, I kind of wanted another dark romance that's actually kind of funny. So I picked up Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, and honestly I don't really know what it's about. I just know there's a bit of stalking or something. I'm not exactly sure, and there's like a mask that the guy always wears. Trauma nurse Ali escapes her hardworking days by thirsting after masked men online. To her, nothing could top the fantasy of her favorite tattooed and masked man hunting her down, but she never could have guessed that one drunken text would turn those dreams into reality. Josh has spent his life avoiding the limelight, but his online persona is another story. At night, he posts masked thirst traps for his millions of fans until one follower catches his eye, Ali. Together, Ali and Josh live out their darkest fantasies, unaware that Ali has captured the attention of someone with far more sinister intentions. As Josh turns from predator to protector, he must ask himself how far he'll go for the woman he can't live without. I guess there is stalking. I thought it was like the MMC was stalking her, but they just kind of like have a thing going on, and I think she has a stalker. Or maybe I made it up. I don't know where I heard the stalker from. I feel like people recommend this if you liked Butcher and Blackbird, and I like loved Butcher and Blackbird. And it actually says right here, the couple who slays together stays together. So I feel like it's giving like that kind of dark romantic comedy. We'll see how it goes. I hope it has like the same chokehold on me that Butcher and Blackbird did, because that one is amazing. And I've heard that it's becoming a movie, which, let me just talk quickly about how everything is becoming adapted into something. I'm so excited. I saw the Powerless trilogy is, Divine Rivals duology is gotten picked up. Obviously Emily Henry's books have been picked up. I don't know about Great Big Beautiful Life, but her previous ones. And then I don't know, I feel like every day I wake up and there is a new series that's being adapted. Elsie Silver's Rose Hill series is getting picked up into a TV show. I am so excited for that. Like, literally, I'm so excited for all these adaptations. I hope it comes through. I can't wait to see like actual trailers. I feel like I'm not letting myself get excited until there's something in like, I don't know, like trailer or casting announcements or something, like official announcement. Anyway, back to the book haul. The next book that I picked up is The Rose Bargain, and now this is a bit of a random one for me because I do read fantasy, but honestly not too much, and like I kind of prefer the crazy fantasy vibes where it's not crazy world building. But I heard people say that this is basically Bridgerton with Fae involved, so that sounded quite intriguing to me. England, 1848, the season is officially open. High society girls line up to bargain with the immortal Queen Morian for qualities that will win them suitors. A perfect smile for the loss of a finger. A talent for the piano in exchange for one's happiest childhood memory. Lady Ivy Benton's season arrives with a shocking twist. The Queen announces a competition to win the hand of her Fae son, Prince Bran, and marrying the prince is a prize that could save Ivy's family from ruin and her sister from the bargain that destroyed her. Every glittering Fae deal has a rotting heart, and amid lavish balls, vicious competitions, and a dangerous alliance with Prince Bran's irresistible brother, Prince Emmett, Ivy soon realizes that at the center of this contest lies a dark plot that could destroy all of England. Sounds good. It sounds like the Bridgerton vibe, and like, I don't know, I've heard really good things about this. I think this is like a YA fantasy though. Those I kind of prefer because it's a bit more low-key, it's a bit more chill. I don't reach out for fantasy often, so I feel like that is like a good fantasy to read. Okay, next book that I picked up was The Right Move by Liz Tomford. Now, I've actually just started reading Mile High by Liz Tomford, which is the first book in the Windy City series, and I don't know if this is the second book of the series. I honestly don't know what the order is, to be honest, but I've heard wonderful things, and I think with Mile High at the moment I'm like enjoying it, but like it's not like my favorite so far. Like the starting, I just wasn't really connecting with the MMC, and he's just kind of icked me out a little bit, so I'm not too sure about that. However, I've heard wonderful things about the series being really, really great as the series carries on. This one follows Ryan Shay and Indy, and she becomes a live-in girlfriend for Ryan, acting as his adoring girlfriend. So it's kind of like forced proximity, they're living together and they have to fake date. I feel like the premise of this, it sounds really, really good. So I'm excited to read it. Like I said, I've heard wonderful things, and I know the last book in the series has just come out, Rewind It Back, which is Rio's story. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to continue the series. Mile High, I don't know, I'm still feeling it out. The next book that I picked up was kind of like me picking up a book because I miss like the small town cowboy romance. There's a few booktubers who recommended this series, so I wanted to give it a go and see if it kind of like lives up to like the Chestnut Springs hype in my head. I'm not too sure, but I feel like a few people have said if you enjoy the Chestnut Springs series, you'll enjoy this series, and this one is called Riding the High by Paisley Hope. All I know is this is a cowboy romance. I don't know too much else about it. It follows Cole, who's a devoted single dad and is appointed as a Laurel Creek's interim sheriff. He's determined to prove himself as the best man for the job. The daughter of a Kentucky congressman, Ginger Danforth, has always been about neat appearances, but inside she's starting to break free and embrace adventure. During a wild weekend in Vegas and after too many drinks, Ginger and Cole find themselves hitched in a neon-lit chapel with no quick way out. They strike a deal, stay secretly married until Ginger's father is re-elected and Cole lands the sheriff job permanently. Oh, that's crazy. I've actually never read a Vegas like elopement kind of story, or I assume they kind of knew each other because it does not say how they know each other, but I think they might have been childhood friends or like had a relationship in their childhood. I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like it'll be really, really fun. Okay, that's like a new trope for me, and I feel like a lot of people mention this trope, but I've not read a single book with this like, you know, wild drunken wedding kind of trope, which is a very random trope to have. But anyway, excited to read this. We're almost to the end. So the next book that I have is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Now this one I've known for a long time. I've seen so many amazing reviews about this book. and I have kind of felt a little bit of FOMO, so I did pick it up because of that. And also one of my best friends read it, I think, and he has mentioned it to me, so I'm really excited to read this one. And I think it's like a second chance romance. Okay, it follows Ava and Shane, who meet at a literary event in New York, and no one knows that 15 years earlier, when they were teenagers, Ava and Shane spent 1 week together madly in love. While they may pretend to be strangers, they can't deny their chemistry. Over the next 7 days, amidst a steamy Brooklyn summer, Ava and Shane reconnect. But Ava is wary of the man who broke her heart and wants Shane out of the city so her life can return to normal. That actually sounds quite good. I do love a second chance romance, but I think it's interesting to know that they fell in love in 7 days, and now they also have 7 days to kind of like reconnect. But it's, I don't know, how can you fall in love in 7 days? But I don't know, I'm gonna trust everyone who said that this is really, really beautiful, and I'm excited to read it as well. The next book that I have is a Kristin Hannah book, which is called Another Life. Now, I have only read The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah, and I have a feeling that I will be ending up reading a lot of her books because I truly loved The Nightingale. It was one of my first 5 stars of this year, and I just love the way she wrote, and I feel like it was just beautifully written, and I felt so immersed into the story, immersed into the world that she was talking about, and you just felt so much for the characters, and I just really, really enjoyed her writing. I think she like writes a lot of historical fiction, but this one is not really a historical fiction. This one is called Another Life, and this was Angie, who is coming out of a divorce, and she has been struggling with infertility and miscarriages and dealing with that aspect of like becoming a mother or wanting to become a mother, and she's wanted it for so long, and it's ended up kind of affecting her marriage and herself. Obviously, she moves back home, and when she moves back to her hometown, she helps run the family restaurant with her loud, loving, slightly crazy relatives. As she slowly puts her life back together, she meets 2 people who will change her life forever. It was originally published in the US as Things We Do for Love, and it's an evocative story that celebrates the magic of motherhood, the joys of coming home, and the price we so willingly pay for love. I'm really keen to read this. I feel like I'm gonna be absolutely broken by the end of it, but that is just what you get when you read a Kristin Hannah book. Okay, the last book in my birthday book haul is Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco. Now, this one, I don't know. I feel like I bought on a whim a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not too sure why I bought it, which sounds really bad, but I feel like I'm gonna really enjoy this. And this one follows the Prince of Envy, who has never claimed to be a saint, but when he's drawn out of his demon court and into a deadly game, he knows winning will take more than a hint of sin. Camilla never thought she would lose herself to desire, but then a desperate mistake leaves her no choice but to enter into a bargain with Envy, and it ignites a passion neither of them expect. Let the games begin. Now, Envy and Camilla must journey through the underworld, from glittering demon courts to the sultry vampire realm and beyond, and avoid the most dangerous trap of all, falling in love. Oh, it's a standalone fantasy. I don't know why I thought it was also a novel series. It was a bit of a random, I guess maybe an impulse purchase from me, but I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't know. I feel like with fantasy, I'm like, it's a bit of a hit or miss with me. So I don't know, we'll see how I go with this one. But that is the last book in my birthday book haul. I cannot believe I went through all those books. I feel like there was so many, but if you've read any of them, please let me know how you found them. But thank you guys so much for watching my book haul, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell icon for notifications and stuff. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.